Hi guys, in this lesson we will explain the basic usage of data frames, specifically how to create the basic type of data frames in Pandas. Let's first create a new file and assign it data frame name, data frame. Okay, we can create a data frame using a single list. As in here, we will create a variable name, and inside of the variable name list we will add a couple of elements here, string elements. This will be, the first one will be cherry, after that apple, kiwi, and lemon, right? And now I will have to do what? I will have to create a data frame from this list. In order to create a data frame, I will need to use the Pandas library. But in order to use the Pandas library, I will have to import it first as pd alias and run it, and then I can easily use this pd here. But if I want to assign to the variable, I'm open to do it. pd, and the keyword should be assigned here, data frame, and now I will pass in the variable name here, lct, and I'm ready to call this data frame here. And you could see that we first created the list here, then we have assigned the variable to this pd data frame. pd is coming from here, and the data frame is the keyword, and this lct is this variable that we have passed to create this data frame here. You could see from here that we have no column name. We could create this manually by assigning the columns equals to something like column 1, right? I click enter. It should name its columns names. This might give an error. We should surround it with the list and run it. You could see that it will run and rename the 0 to the column 1. But if we want to create a data frame consisting of the column names and rows, we could easily do it with the help of the lists and sets inside of the list, just like that. My list here, I will surround this as a list here, and inside of this list I will surround the curly bracket here. The first one will be the key inside of the curly bracket, this will be the key, and this will be the value. And we could even do what? Repeat this process, like vegetable will is equal to potato, and location as an example, maybe Azerbaijan, right? This will be the first row, and if I just try to run this one by assigning it to the data frame as a pd data frame and passing this variable here, my list, and click alt enter, you could see that it will print out our list with these column names as a fruit, vegetable. These keys will be what? The column names, while this apple, potato, and this country name Azerbaijan will be its values here. I can even do what? Add the second row here. After the comma, I will create the second row here. Just copy and paste it here. Just a minute. I will come to the new line with the backslash here, and now I can even change the names. Cherry, vegetable will be the tomato, and country will be Georgia. Okay, if I run it, you could see that to create the second row here. These indexes are coming automatically, don't pay attention to them. We could even create another data frame with the help of a dictionary by defining keys as columns and values as rows, but the syntax here is different. The first one is data equals to, again we will surround it with the curly brackets, but the syntax is a bit different. The first one would be the keyword key, another one will be what, after the colon we will create a list and define its values as an increase. The second one will be petty, then John, and this could be the first line or row. And now I can do what, create the second one. Age will be what, again I will create a list with numbers here, 25 comma 24 comma 30, and this is continues to be like that. You could add as many rows or columns as you want. And now I will do what, I will have to just run this one, but before running it I will have to assign it to the data frame itself, like PD here. Let's create a variable here, df, this could be the data frame, PD data frame, and pass this variable and call this data frame here. You could see it will print out the table or data frame with the name and age as a column names. These keys could be the column names, while their values could be what, these numbers and these names here. We have created this data frame with the help of dictionary, which I have already learned in our Python lesson. Now we could also create a data frame with the help of tuples. Let's do it. Like we have a list 2 equals to, inside of the list or square brackets we will create what, the tuples. The first one will be an item, let's see that it will be the gold, then its values will be 10, or bronze. Inside of the tuple will be, the value will be 5 after the comma, etc. And now again I will pass this variable to the data frame, list 2, and close this scope. If I run it, you could see that it will print out the column names as the 0, 1 and their index names, again the same way, because it hasn't defined the column names. By default we haven't defined it, but if we want to define it we could do what, just add the column names or even the index names to it, as this one, columns equals to let's see, the first column will be the item, the second one will be the item 2, right? If I run it, you can see it has renamed all columns here. And as I said before, these indexes are the default index that Pandas automatically is going to count, but we could even assign the indexes manually here by defining index equals to what, the first item like row, and the second one again after the comma, item row 2, right? If I run it, you could see that it will rename these values here, or you could, instead of the strings, use the numbers here in a descending order, like that. The same applies to all these data frames. In here you could even pass it by after the data. You could assign it here, like index equals to 20, 11, 22, 33. Again, it would work for all these types of data frames. Okay, let's create one more data frame example from random numbers, like pd data frame, and inside of the data frame I should do what? The first one that I will have to do is to import the NumPy library, which is being installed already in our Anaconda server. If we want to use it, we will need to import it first. Import NumPy as np and run it. After that, come here and use this np alias and the random keyword, and after that I will type in the rand 4 8, and if I want I can do what, define the column name, but for now just run it. You could see that it will print out the result. The column names hasn't been defined, and their index names too. If we want to define the column names, we could easily do it like columns, define them separately by assigning A or B, like that. But if we have a long list here, we could do it with the help of the list here, list method, list, and these numbers should be 8 and alt enter, or 7 or 8. If I run alt enter, it has 8 characters, and you will see that all these characters are just iterated and defined to each column here. Again, if you have a small, just copy it, small data like this one. You could do it without problems by assigning 2 columns here, A and B. Alt enter. You could see that we have assigned these columns manually here. We could even transpose these column names by assigning the T character, and you could see that it would convert these indexes to the column names, while these values will be assigned for these characters here as a rows. It will just convert their positions here. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Have a good day. Bye.